Hey. So apparently, I need to make another video on chakras. My brother watched my one video. Or have I done two videos on chakras? I think just one. My brother watched it, and apparently he was more confused. So I'm gonna make another video. He didn't really say what he was confused about, but I'm just gonna kind of take a different approach, I guess. And yeah, I'm using a different mic this time. Also, I'm using my webcam because my stupid Logitech is just not working. It's something with this USB port or my laptop. I don't understand it, so sorry. But should I move this like that way? That would be better, maybe. So sorry, but this is yeah, whatever. It's fine. Nobody cares. Audio matters more. So let's talk about chakras now. Metabolism. I want to talk about that also. So let's see here. Stuff is starting to come together. Names of the chakras. So let's start with what they're called. Why not? So okay, a chakra is I'm gonna put this as simple as I can, guys, because I don't know why people are so behind. Like science is so behind when it comes to this crap. Like so many people don't understand this. It's pretty dang simple, guys. I'm gonna try to explain it simply. Well, it may not be simple. Like everything is energy, right? So it may not be simple because there's entropy, but it's not complicated. Like well, it might be complicated, okay, but it's at least easy to understand the basics, okay? It's not difficult to understand the basics, okay? Because I can understand it. So if I can, you can. So we got the root chakra, which is located pretty much like at the base of the spine is where it's located. There's 7, so they're energy centers, okay? A chakra is an energy center. It's essentially like a spinning wheel, okay? It regulates energy. That's what a chakra does. At least that's its primary function. I'd say the regulation and it also directs energy. So direction, that's not right. Regulation and direction of energy. Yeah, I guess that's right. So anyway, so English and Sanskrit names. Yeah, so the root chakra, Muladhara, Hara. Anyway, yeah, located at base of the spine. As I said, governs stability and grounding. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Moving up, we have the sacral chakra or Svadhisthana. This is located in the lower abdomen, governs creativity and passion, right? So it's kind of near, like right around like the same area as the sex organs, right? So, I mean, well, yeah. And obviously like sex is the ultimate creative act. Well, technically, I mean, okay, you could argue speech is the ultimate creative act. And that's true, but when it comes to life, sex, like, sex is obviously the way life works. Like, it's a necessary act that always precedes a human life, right? And so, or multiple, if it's like twins or triplets. Anyway, but yeah, so anyway, it governs creativity and passion. Makes sense, right? Moving up, we have the solar plexus, which is third one here. So we got, base or root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, kind of in the middle. This one governs, I think, Madhepura, something like that. Located near the navel, it governs personal power and self-esteem. Okay, so it's often associated with the will, like kind of willpower, sort of, kind of like personal power. You could say discipline, kind of that personal power, authority over oneself. It's probably pretty accurate. And then self-esteem, I don't know. I don't love the term self-esteem just because it's like, what do you mean by self-esteem? Just like your perception of yourself or your confidence is not quite, self-esteem isn't quite confidence, but yeah, anyway, so. But yeah, so that's solar plexus. Then we have the heart chakra, which as far as I'm concerned is, well, it's literally in the center. It's the 4th out of 7, so it's the middle chakra. There's a reason why the Bible talks so much about the heart and how important the heart is. After all, it's as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of where everything went wrong in the story of Genesis. Was, when man sinned, essentially that heart chakra became unbalanced, and then because it's in the center of the chakra system, threw off all the other, like basically it allowed all the other chakras to become unbalanced, right? And so, anyway, that's what sin did. But the heart chakra is anahata. I think it's how you say it. Anahata, maybe. Located in the center of the chest, governs love and compassion, right? So, basically, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Throat chakra, Vishuddha, I think, located at the throat, it governs communication and self-expression, right? So, I've had trouble with a blocked throat chakra throughout my life, which maybe I'll talk about at some point or in a couple minutes. But right, then we have the third eye chakra, which is Ajna, I think, and it's located at the center of the forehead, governs intuition and imagination, right? So, and I would almost say maybe also understanding, you might say, kind of ties into that intuition a bit, and yeah, imagination, right? Because anyway, it's just kind of tied to creativity as well, but not exactly, because like everything starts from the imagination, right? Then we have the crown chakra, which is Sahasrara, something like that. It's located at the top of the head and governs spiritual connection and higher consciousness. So a lot of people say the third eye is the seat of the soul, but then the crown chakra is like what connects you to God. It's probably true, I'd imagine, because we're bipedal beings, and like God is like kind of in the heavens. Well, what is that Latin phrase? God is everywhere, really, right? And so, but he's kind of like in the heaven in a way. So anyway, I imagine that's probably true. There's that we got that we have that connection to God, like which is I think why if you're healthy, if your chakras are aligned, or mostly at least, like it's easier to hear like the Holy Spirit, or kind of hear the voice of God, right? And I think that's why I think from an energetic, or you could say spiritual perspective, is because of that crown chakra kind of connects us to God. Anyway, so, but then I would also say if you're a Christian, you have that heart chakra connection with Jesus, which I've felt before on my shroom trip, which I've made a video about. Anyway, but so, okay, hopefully this explains it better. Now, if a chakra is blocked, it leads to issues, right? So my throat chakra has, at various points in my life, become blocked. And when that happens, energy cannot flow naturally. And the result is, disorder and not health. Like, something goes wrong in terms of your health, whether psychological or physical. I mean, I'll just pull it up here. My TBP model kind of shows this. I mean, it does talk about chakras. I have this kind of vision. I need to make a video on it, but I have this kind of vision for the future of mental health. I'll be honest, guys. I'm just going to call it right now because it's probably going to happen. I'm probably going to start a company at some point. I'll probably just become an entrepreneur at some point. It'll be a company where, like, the goal of the company is to actually help people with like problems, and to actually provide real therapy, and have trained, psychologists who actually know what they're talking about. And it'll probably be all centered around this model. I'm just going to tell you, probably. Although I don't know. I'm still not sure if this is complete. I might end up adding a few things. Not sure. Haven't gotten a ton of feedback. We'll see. But yeah, I talk about chakras here and here, and it's all about that energy flowing naturally. Really, that's all. It's. And here's the thing, so I want to go to this, which I just kind of just came to me like literally a couple of minutes ago. So I was on Facebook a little while ago, and I saw Peterson Academy ad, which I've seen a lot. I'll see them on YouTube. It's funny because I'm a member of Peterson Academy, but I'll still see the ads. But yeah, and this guy, this professor was saying a lot of. So he's trying to make a connection between metabolic dysfunction and mental illness. And he was saying a lot of the times metabolic dysfunction precedes mental illness. And I thought, oh, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Because here's the thing. Let me say this. I've started taking NAC for my trichotillomania. It seems like it's working. I'm taking 600 milligrams a day. I started like yesterday. And today I've been great. Although my hair is short, so that helps. Because I got a haircut the other day. We'll have to see when I keep going. But seems to be helping. And I'm pretty sure, hold on, let me just fact check myself. Well, first of all, I'll just show an image just so you can see. I don't know. You could pause the video, or because I want to go through each chakra, but I'll give you an image just so you can pause it, or you can rewind it, look at the time, and whatever. Because these colors, I mean, I'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, let's just see. So, what does NAC do in the body? Whoops. Apparently helps your liver, which is good because my liver is not the most healthy. So yeah, it's an antioxidant. That's right. Oh, it does that too. But does it do anything metabolic? Oxidative stress. Okay. No, I'm thinking of methylene blue. Hold on. Does methylene blue help with metabolic related disorders? No, okay. I thought it was. I'm thinking of something. Mitochondria. That's right. I knew that. Anyway, well, whatever. I guess NAC doesn't, but it has been helping me with my OCD, which typically is trichotillomania. But anyway, this professor on Pearson Academy was talking about this, and I thought, hold on a second. Metabolism. That's like kind of has to do with that, like that, or there's that idea of burning energy, and everything that's alive burns. Let me take these off. Everything that's alive like burns energy. So it has to do with like energy usage. And then I thought, oh my gosh, of course, bro. Of course. Everything is energy. Like, it's what I've been saying. Like, finally people are starting to catch up. I'm sorry, but it's just, I posted this on my Instagram not long ago. Just a picture of chakras. And I was like, why don't mental health professionals act as if these exist? Because after all, they do. And like, and I that's why I'm telling you, like, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to start a freaking company, and it's going to be, sorry, I'm just making sure my audio is good and everything. But I'm going to start a company, and they're going to be trained psychologists who are, or slash therapists who are really like actually knowledgeable, you know, about especially like the top 10 most common psychopathologies. They're going to be trained in hypnosis, and they're going to be freaking trained on the TBP model, most likely. But also, you know, we'll probably use a number of different potential models, depending on the disorder and all that, because it depends. But they're going to be trained in hypnosis, because I'm telling you, we do not. Hypnosis is like a hack in a way. Like we don't take advantage of it like we should in therapy. Like we just don't. It's so It can be so powerful. It's an altered state of consciousness. But it's all about how trained the hypnotist is. It's like surgery. Surgery can be amazing or it can be bad depending on the surgeon and their intentions. Like, it's like surgery. It is. It's like hypnosis can be incredible if the hypnotist, you know, person holding a scalpel in this analogy knows what he or she is doing. So anyway, metabolism. Like, finally, it's like, I feel like people, like, I said it before, like, I'll say it again. Like, I'm waiting for people to catch up. But it feels like, I guess science is finally starting to catch up to this in terms of mental illness, you know, psychological disorders. Like, yes, no wonder, like, no surprise that a lot of mental disorders seem to be metabolically related, or metabolically based, I guess. Right. And like, that's kind of what first went wrong in the body whenever someone first started developing symptoms. It's like, no wonder, like, it's not a surprise. It's all about energy. And okay, so I just want to show this definition. I'll just read it. Metabolism is a collection of all of the chemical processes in your body that convert food into the energy you need to breathe, move, and grow. It is made up of two primary activities: breaking down nutrients for energy, catabolism. I didn't know that. It's a new word. And using that energy to build and repair tissues, anabolism. So, anabolism, not to be confused with cannibalism. Anyway, which does have to do with eating. So kind of breaking down. Anyway. So it's a very basic process or activity, I guess. Breaking down nutrients for energy and using energy to build and repair tissues. So, yeah, it's like if something goes wrong there, it's not a surprise that some sort of psychopathology would emerge, you know, and someone would start developing symptoms. And what symptoms? Well, It depends on their biological weakness, their genetic disposition, I guess, or predisposition, or I mean, essentially their biological weak point or their genetic weakness, essentially, in simple words. And so, um, like finally, like I was so glad to see that video of, and of course, it's on Peterson Academy too, which I'm loving so far. That's right. I need to finish this lecture actually. Where is it? Right here. I'm like halfway through. Yeah, started this earlier today, but I need to finish that before I go to bed. But yeah, it's like exactly like gosh, it's all about energy. Like of course, that's what I'm saying. Gosh, when energy can't flow naturally, psychopathology is the consequence. Like that's how it is, dude. Like I figured it out, guys. At least the basics of it. I'm pretty dang certain at this point. I mean, I've refined this a number of times. The only thing is these words are kind of blurry, so but whatever. It's fine. Like it just somehow that happened, and it's because I asked ChatGPT to make it symmetrical. Let's see, it also changed a couple of things, but I mean, it's fine the way it is. I like it. I think it works. It looks a lot better, and yeah, it used to look. Yeah, I really like this version better. But anyway, so. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out if there's ways to make it better, like how I can, I don't know. Because I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know about this. Like, I feel like there's definitely something here, but I just don't know, I guess. Anyway, so chakras. When a chakra is blocked, it throws off the entire chakra system so that energy cannot flow naturally. Like it just, let's see, where am I? I'll just go here. I don't know. Codfish bee, whatever. I'll just go here. Oops. It throws off the entire structure, like the entire freaking, what? Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, they put out my schedule. Interesting. Gosh, I gotta turn my brightness down on my phone. But yeah, so chakras, going back to chakras. Oh yeah, the colors too. The color of someone's aura, which can be seen with certain cameras apparently. You can see the color of someone's aura. That what colors are in someone's aura tells you what chakras are more active than other ones. So for example, if someone has a more blue aura, they probably talk a lot, or at least express themselves through their throat. So like beatboxing, for example, would be another example, or singing. Maybe they don't talk a lot per se, but they sing a lot. And so they have a lot of blue in their aura. Okay, nice, dude. I'm glad that my schedule now is very consistent. I really like that. It kind of used to not be. I mean, it was fine before, but I really like that it's consistent. So anyway, I'm probably gonna get a new job before too long, but we'll see. I mean, really would like to be making videos like this for a living, but slow growth. I'm growing very slowly on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, if someone has a lot of red in their aura, then that probably means that their base chakra, the one connected to the base of the spine, root chakra, is more active than the rest probably. And I think, from what I understand, I've never seen somebody's aura, but from what I understand, there can be like different hues. Sometimes someone has a bunch of different hues, and then that means that all their chakras are probably pretty balanced. But here's the thing, like as far as I can tell, when it comes to the chakras, one can be a lot more active than the others, but that doesn't necessarily mean the person is unbalanced or like energy is not flowing naturally. So, because it's just like the guy who talks a lot and just won't stop talking. Like, if he won't stop talking, if he's bothering people, maybe there is kind of an imbalance of energy there, because it's like all being directed sort of at the throat chakra and out of the mouth. But anyway, so when all the chakras are aligned and like functioning as they should be, the result is, this cord, is a balanced, healthy person. And when energy flows naturally, then health ensues, I guess is the word. I just realized I could move this, but yeah. And so that's the thing. It's all about energy. Like it really is. Even objects are. At the micro level, objects, you'll see movement. Atoms are moving, and it's because there's energy. It's like hyper condensed energy. Essentially, it's the correct way of thinking about it. And let's see, that's good right there. And so yeah, it's just everything is energy, really. But Yeah, and the heart chakra, big one for that. I mean, it seems to be true that if there's a person who's angry often, I mean, it has to do with the heart pretty much. I mean, it's at least it has a lot to do with the heart because I mean the Bible talks about it. It says be slow to speak, slow to anger. I'm trying to work on both of those, but yeah. So, and you know what? That's probably one of the reasons because like God knows about energy. That energy is everything, and if you're slow to speak and slow to anger, well, there's a much lower probability that your energy system is going to become dysfunctional. Essentially, your chakra system, and so hopefully that makes sense. Now, like the chakras, I'm trying to explain this simply because I thought I explained it well before, but my brother found it confusing, and he's pretty intelligent, so if he finds it confusing, other people probably did too. Although the video didn't get many views. Anyway, but like chakras exist, as far as I can tell, to help regulate our energy and also connect us with God in a way. Like, well, the crown chakra, but really it's about. I mean, they're connected to the spirit, as far as I can tell. Really, I mean, they're non-physical, right? And so they're connected to the spirit and the mind very tightly, and they are. Yeah, they can get out of control. I mean, they're connected to the physical body. So if something traumatic happens to a person, it can very well, and it does. I mean, if it's traumatic, well, people can go through crazy events and not be traumatized. So there's that. But if someone is traumatized, it will it'll inevitably negatively affect the chakra system and cause things to become unbalanced, simply because of the fact that the mind and body are inextricably linked. And I mean, yeah, the physical and non-physical they have such a like tight relationship, if that makes sense. They're always affecting each other, is the way I would put it. And so, yeah. Anyway, any questions? Leave them in the comments. I try to explain this well. Again, I think eventually science is finally going to catch up. Though honestly, we got to create technology to see it. That would be best, and if it's possible, first of all, which maybe not. But I mean, I don't know, like the microscope, and then we have freaking electron microscopes. Like I feel like we should be able to create technology that allows us to see chakras. So anyway, but yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. I'll just call it right now. It's probably gonna be my kid that ends up, or maybe I'll invent it later in my life when I'm in like my 50s or 60s. But no, it'll probably be like my daughter or something. Like probably. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm just gonna tell you, it's probably gonna be one of my future kid that ends up creating some kind of a camera or some kind of technology that allows us to see chakras. Like that's probably what's gonna happen. It's gonna be one of my kids probably, and if not, it's gonna be like, well, never mind. There's another person who I feel like might be that could happen, but probably not. Anyway, it's probably gonna be one of my kids, or me and my wife. If I, assuming I get married eventually, which I probably will. Yeah, it might be me and my wife that end up, putting our heads together, and once I become a millionaire, and yeah, finally, freaking, saying, okay, let's figure out the technology. Let's find a bunch of smart people and get a bunch of money together and make this happen. Find a couple engineers and anyway. So yeah, but chakras definitely exist. I can tell you that for certain. I learned that after my first psilocybin mushroom trip. Like, no doubt they exist. And I've seen them too. Like, one time when I was on a trip, it wasn't super intense. I think I took, I don't know, around a gram, maybe gram and a half. So not a super high dose, pretty medium dose from what I recall. Yeah. But yeah, it's at one point I remember just looking and I kind of like saw all the lights, and I mean they looked like basically lights or like circle. Yeah, I mean kind of like the image I showed you pretty much. And so, yeah. So Wim Hof has seen him too. He's talked about it at least once before. One time he saw the chakras when he was like doing his Wim Hof breathing. So it was not, I saw them when I was on shrooms, but he was not on anything. He was just doing like deep breathing. He was high on oxygen. There you go. Like, but hey, I mean, oxygen is, incredible. It's obviously abundant, but also like the primary fuel that we need to survive. And so, well, that and food, of course. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully this made sense. I'm gonna end it here in a moment, but yeah, I should do some Wim Hof breathing before bed tonight. That'd be a good idea. Matter of fact, we'll see. I'm trying to buy this ice bath. I need to wait till I get paid next. But then I need to buy this. I'll show you. This one right here. Apparently it's a good brand. So I think I want to buy this one. Because I honestly, it's weird, but I kind of do miss taking ice baths. I don't know. I used to take cold showers and I enjoyed that, but I've taken ice baths a few times and I do kind of miss it. So anyway. All right, that's it. Chakras, any questions? Leave them below. Thanks. God bless. Bye.